Berlin is a beautiful historic city, but it is so huge and with so many iconic landmarks that it's really difficult to know where to visit. Like me, most people only have a few days to explore Berlin and it is impossible to see absolutely everything. So in today's video, I'm going to be going through the top things that you definitely must not miss while you're in Berlin. This city becomes a beautiful winter wonderland around December, so if you haven't already, make sure you check out my previous video about the Berlin Christmas markets, because that is definitely the best thing to do in Berlin if you're there around Christmas time. Make sure you stay till the end because my favorite thing to do in Berlin is right at the end. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. First up are the Berlin Cathedral, Museum Island, and the Berlin Palace, which also has the Humboldt Forum in it. These three locations are right next to each other and are definitely worth a visit while you're in Berlin. The cathedral is such an iconic building in the city and is so beautiful inside. It's also known as the Berliner Dome and is one of the historic churches in Germany. Museum Island is home to 5 of the best museums in Germany. You may not have time to go to all of them, but at least try and go to one because they are amazing, and there is just so much to do in the Berlin Palace. Not only is there the Humboldt Forum, but also there's places to eat and things there, so I would definitely recommend coming to this area while you're in Berlin. Next up is the Brandenberg Gate, which is one of the most famous monuments in the city. Unfortunately, while we were there was renovations happening on one side of the gate, so there was all scaffolding up, and as you can see, there wasn't much of a view. But from the roadside, you could still see the gate well. It was a symbol of the separation of East and West Berlin, but since the unification, it's now a symbol of peace. This is a must-do while you're in Berlin. Just a few steps away from here, you need to visit next the Holocaust Memorial. This memorial consists of lots of concrete blocks of differing sizes, and it's a calm place of reflection and contemplation. We didn't do a guided tour here, we just kind of walked around, but we actually would have been better off, I think, doing a tour here just to learn more about what happened and to be more informed. Also, we completely missed that underneath all these concrete blocks underground is an information centre. There you can learn a little bit more about the Holocaust and also about the memorial. If we had done a tour, we probably wouldn't have missed it, but hopefully you won't miss it after watching this video. It's free to get in here and you can just walk around openly. Not far from here is the Reichstag, which is a parliament building. We didn't go there because we didn't have much time and we weren't too interested, but it does have a great view from the glass dome on the top, so you can add that to your list if you're interested in seeing that. The next place we visited was the Gendarmenmarkt. Sorry, my pronunciations are not the best. We were a little bit unlucky because there was constructions happening here again, but this is a beautiful place and it's usually a lovely square to enjoy. There's also some lovely restaurants in this area. Another place that we thought was quite cool, pun intended, was the ice bar. This was a nice and different activity to do while we were here. Included in your ticket price, you do get some drinks. I think it was about 3 drinks each we got included. You get 1 drink outside before you come into the ice area, and then you get 2 drinks whilst you're in the ice bar. Once you enter the ice bar area, everything is made of ice, and that includes all the seats, all the decor, even the glasses that you drink out of are made out of ice, which is quite cool. You only get 1 glass, so make sure you keep hold of it, and if you want a beer, make sure you get a big glass first, because you can also do shots, but if your first drink is a shot, you only have the tiny glass for your beer, so think about that. We were already wrapped up because we were there in winter time. However, they do have coats and gloves which you can wear if you're still cold, just like me. You don't get too long in there. I think it's about 30 minutes. It is so unbearably cold and I couldn't wait to get out of there, to be honest, but it's great to go and get some nice photos with all the ice. It certainly makes you adjust to the weather outside a little bit better. I definitely recommend this. We really enjoyed it. Berlin is known for having lots of museums, and this was a really interesting one called the Dejavu Museum. Museum Island had the more serious museums. However, I really liked this one because it was all about optical illusions. There were several different rooms, all with different themes and different things that you could do. Some of them were optical illusions and some of them quite cool art installations. It was quite big. You could spend quite a bit of time in here, and it's great for all ages. We saw some kids around and everything. We booked this online. It wasn't too busy and we had a lot of fun, so I definitely recommend doing it. Next up is another really important historical landmark, and that is Checkpoint Charlie. This was the most well-known Berlin Wall crossing point between East and West Berlin during the Cold War. It's definitely worth checking it out. There is a museum nearby where you can get more information, and it's quite a nice built-up area as well. If you fancy a bit of shopping, you can also check out Bikini Mall, which is the most popular mall in Berlin. There's also Kadewe, which is a really luxurious mall to try out. Bikini Mall is right next to the Berlin Zoo, so that is something you can do with the family if you fancy. We didn't visit the zoo because we've been to quite a few zoos and we really didn't have time. But if you're traveling to Berlin with kids, that might be something fun to do. Last but not least is the most important landmark in Berlin, which is the Berlin Wall. This section of the wall located in Potsdamer Platz is really good because it gives you so much information about the wall and everything that happened in Germany at that time. The Berlin Wall separated East and West Germany, and after it was torn down, there are only a few segments of it that remain. You can visit the Berlin Wall Memorial to find out a little bit more information, and I'd also recommend visiting the East Side Gallery, which is my absolute favorite thing I did other than the Christmas markets. This is the world's largest open-air gallery, and I'm sure we've all seen the iconic art pieces that are featured on these segments of the Berlin Wall. The art was painted by so many international artists, and they are all really, really interesting pieces. It spans across a really, really long section of the fallen Berlin Wall, so it's really great to have a stroll and admire all the art pieces. Even if you're not a big lover of art, it is still amazing and it really gets you to think and reflect. This is the longest continuous piece of the Berlin Wall that still stands. It gets really, really crowded at the sections with the most famous art pieces. However, because the wall is so long, there's loads of spaces where you can admire the art without it being crowded. If you're enjoying this video, make sure you subscribe to see more content like this. And be sure to check out my previous Berlin videos if you're going around Christmas time. A tip I have for you if you're traveling around the city to save time and money is to get one of those hop-on, hop-off bus tours. They not only take you straight to all the attractions one after the other, but they also provide information with little headphones, and also it's a great taxi service to take you from one attraction to another. I find it quite a great starting point to just go around all the attractions. It just takes maybe a couple of hours on the tour bus, and then you can start getting off at each place to see it a little bit more in detail. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope it's helped you out if you're planning a trip to Berlin. I hope you enjoy your trip, and I'll see you in the next video.